Welcome to the show, leaders. Today, we're going to discuss what happens when you have put in a lot of effort, you put in a lot of work, you've achieved a lot. Perhaps you're a business owner, or maybe you've climbed the corporate ladder, and now you've gotten to the peak and you're not happy. You're not enjoying yourself. What you thought it was going to be, it is not. Or it was good for a while and you've fizzled out. So we're going to go through 3 things that are critical to take into account if you are in this position, and 3 things that you can do to change it. So you don't necessarily have to make a huge, massive pivot. Now, sometimes a huge, massive pivot is needed, but it's not always needed. And a lot of times the top leaders, performers, entrepreneurs I speak to can get into very black and white thinking. And they think that a huge pivot, destroying their current business, or going into a completely new industry is what's necessary to change things. And while that is the case sometimes, a lot of times it is not. It is simply that we have, one, fallen out of alignment. So we are not assessing what our core values are, and values change. So we haven't done an assessment in a long time and we are out of alignment with our core values. Or 2, our needs have changed. And what we are in, the current environment that we are in, is not meeting our current needs. And 3, we're moving into a new season of our life. We are moving into a new time. And with that comes change and transformation. And that's actually a good thing. And sometimes when we get to the place where we are not happy and we are unfulfilled, and what we used to love now annoys us, or what we used to love and get lost in for hours now grates on our soul. This is an opportunity to understand and take note that things need to change. Doesn't mean we need to throw everything out and start new, but we need to take some assessment. And the first thing we want to look at is values. There's a reason why values is a core part of the Magnetic Leadership Accelerator, which, by the way, applications are open. If you're interested, head on over to the description and apply for a conversation. Values are the core of what is going to allow us to feel fulfilled and like we are on path. When our values are not being met, there's a feeling that something is not right. So when I used to work in the school board met a lot of my values, but some very important values, such as constant growth, financial wealth, were not being met. And they couldn't be met in that environment. There was no opportunity for them to be met because there was only so far that we could go. So now in my business, I make sure that the programs that I offer, that the way I coach and teach, and the way that I live my life outside of work are all in accordance to my core values. Values, by the way, change. I encourage you to do some values work. Even if you did it a year ago, 2 years ago, do it again and assess what are your core values. And are there beliefs that you currently have that are getting in the way from you living and embodying your core values? So one of the things that comes up a lot in a lot of my conversations with leaders is many have a very vivid and exciting a desire for creativity, whether that is something with design, something with music, something with creation. And a lot of them are not living within that value, even in their personal life. They put it to the side. There's a belief that there's no time for it. There's a belief that everything else is a priority. And because of that, they are in a state of overwhelm, of stress, what I call crispy. If you've ever heard me talking about crispy is when we get to a state where we're just on edge, where it's almost like a French fry that is so overdone, it's going to just break and fall apart. This is not where we want to be. This is when we deny certain values that we have. I have people in the Magnetic Leader Accelerator that started with a whole nother idea that they were going to do. And now they are going in on a whole nother path. And I can't even tell you the energy that has shifted within them, the joy, the fulfillment, the money goals that are being met, because they are now in alignment with their core values. It's critical. It is critical work to do. We do not want to be operating in opposition to our core values. Now, need can closely relate to values. We need to feel a sense of belonging. But let's say that you're working in an environment where you don't feel valued. You're not getting along with any of your coworkers. You feel like the odd one out. Likely that need is not going to be met. And if you don't get that need met externally, that's going to grate on your soul. Sometimes there's a need for expression. This is a little bit like a value, but it's a need. A lot of us need creative expression. And that doesn't always mean that, we're painting a picture or we're singing a song. Creative expression can simply be that we are allowed to create, that we have space to create, that we're not just entering data points, or we're not just plugging certain things in, unless that is something that you love to do. Everyone has certain needs that they need. These are core human needs. And they're also needs that you may have that are personal to you. And those are very specific. There's usually not a lot of them. There's often just a few, if not one. But if the place you're in doesn't allow that need to be met, and we can feel like we need to run away, we need to go away, we need to throw our whole business away. We don't. We just have to first understand what it is we're missing. What is causing this feeling? And next, what season are you? So what season of life are you? Are you in a transition season? This is one of the reasons why I love numerology. I love numerology. Now, whether you think numerology is a bunch of hocus pocus, or you love it as well, or you're just open to it, but you don't really understand it, I like to think of numerology as the mathematics of the universe, of our soul. When I first started exploring numerology, I was absolutely mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. Now, mind you, I am very much into the woo-woo, the spiritual, the metaphysics, but I'm also very skeptical. And I don't just believe anything. I put it through my own filter. So when I share numerology, I'm not just sharing it for you to take whatever I'm saying. Explore it for yourself if you're interested. Make your own decision. Discern for yourself if it is applicable to you or not. But I love numerology because one of the things that it talks about is our pinnacle. And our pinnacle is going to show you what season you're moving into. So you can look at season as being many things. It can be a season of welcoming children in to the household. It can be a season of sending them off. It can be a season of new partnership or an ending of partnership. It can be a season of anything, really. It can be a season simply as getting older and moving into a different space in your mindset. in your physical body. Or you can look at it in the numerology sense and look at your pinnacle. What pinnacle are you moving into? I won't go into too much detail now, but if you're interested, please put into Google numerology pinnacle, and you can do some calculations and you can find which pinnacle you're moving into. And that's going to give you a lot of clarity on why you may be feeling like you need to bring in some shifts. I'm moving into one right now. I'm moving into my last pinnacle, for it's going to last as long as I live. And I could feel distinct shifts in my energy, distinct shifts in what I needed, in what I wanted. And I started to get ideas of things that I needed to do, things that I needed to look at, things that I needed to change in my business. Because I need to make room, I need to make space for the next season I'm going into. So if you're getting a lot of signs, if you're getting a lot of feelings like I need to make some changes, what was working a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, is not working now, that's okay. It's just a signal to let you know something needs to change. The problem is, us human beings, we like to sit in stuff forever. We like to sit in what does not work for us for far too long. And we tolerate positions we don't like, or we tolerate a business model that is no longer serving us. It's no longer serving our energy level. It's no longer serving what we want to bring to the table, what we want to do. And if it is not serving us, I can tell you that it's not serving the people that you want to serve either. It's not serving your customers, it's not serving your clients, and it's not serving your coworkers. So there needs to be some changes that need to happen. So to recap, if you are in a place in your business or your career and you're feeling like something is off and you're contemplating throwing the whole thing away and running to a mountain and sit up there and try to figure things out, meditate, or you just want to take off and go to another country and start over, while that can be an option, a lot of the times we simply need to look at what parts of what you're experiencing are no longer in alignment. What are the values that you have now? What are the core values? What do you actually need? And what needs are not being met with the current model or position you're in? And what season are you to? And what needs to change with that season? This is what I want you to ponder on. If you have questions, please let me know by dropping a question below. If you would like to apply to the Magnetic Leadership Accelerator, we are now taking applications. Alignment is the first module of the Magnetic Leadership Accelerator. It's extremely important to understand what you are in alignment for, to get yourself into alignment with the foundation you are building, so we eliminate patterns like self-sabotage. Leader, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me. And as always, let's stay connected.